So now we're on to great tone production. I'm gonna subtitle this one, Knowing What You Want to Sound Like, okay? So producing a great tone quality is probably the most important skill to have on the trombone. To have on any instrument if you think about it. Even a piano, you can hear some players inexperienced and they have a harsh tone, and then a more experienced player will have a really gorgeous tone, and they're playing the same instrument. It can also be the most fun thing to work on because it requires a lot of listening. In order to sound great, you have to listen to people who sound great. So to know what a great player sounds like is subjective. What I think is a great player might not be what you think is a great player, and so that's when this question comes up, what do you want to sound like? Because that's what it is. If you want to sound like a great player that you think is great, that might be different than mine. So what do you want to sound like? This is where you're developing your own sound, and you do that by emulating the sounds you really love the most. So here's an example. When I play jazz, I try to sound like J.J. Johnson as much as I can. And for maybe faster playing, I'll try to sound like Frank Rosolino. And for lower stuff, I try to emulate Bill Reichenbach. You put those together and you have a super trombonist, which is what I'm trying to be. For me, is those three players in one. For classical music, I use Christian Lindberg and Joe Alessi for the high and middle range, Dave Taylor for low range, and bridging all of the ranges completely. Whatever the case for you, you have to listen to a lot of different players and find out what you like in their sounds. And then the important step is figuring out how your sound is different from theirs and changing something, experimenting, and figuring out how to make them sound the same. So just listen, know what you want to sound like, and try to sound like that. It's really that easy. That's all you have to do to create a really great sound on the trombone. So check out the rest of the lesson series. I'll post all of the links in the description below, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two.
Christopher Bill, he sailed the sea, and Annabelle was his daughter, but never a soul did Christopher tell, he never did like the water.